Welcome to Della Fox Checks, and today I find myself in Cabezon because I came to visit the Cabezon dinosaurs, and I made a video on that place in case you guys want to check it out. But now that I'm over here, I'm actually going to drive over towards Palm Springs to go try out a restaurant because there's a ton of restaurants in Palm Springs. I've never even gone to Palm Springs, so this is going to be my first time going, and I'm kind of excited, right? So the name of the restaurant that I'm going to be visiting today is called Trio. And I checked out the menu before coming, and it looks like it's gonna have a ton of variety, right? The restaurant looks like it's gonna be pretty good, I hope, because I am coming from far, so I hope it does not disappoint me. But we're gonna see what I ordered today in Trio. I saw they sold ceviche, burgers. I'm not even sure what I'm in the mood for today, but I wanna try something new. Maybe. I always say that and then I always get the same stuff, right? But it should be interesting. Our next stop is Trio. The name of the Instagram page for the restaurant is Palm Springs Trio, and they have almost 9,000 followers. And I was taking a look at some of their pictures, like this right here, some pasta with some shrimp. Looks really good. This over here also looks good. It's a steak. And finally, this pork chop also looks like it's gonna be very delicious. I'm leaning more towards the pork chop. As you guys can see, the pork chop does look like it's good. You see the bone sticking out. It's got some mashed potatoes and vegetables. So most likely, I'll be ordering this on my visit today. Alright, so before coming to Palm Springs, I thought it was way closer. But now that I'm over here, this place is so far. I don't know what I was thinking coming to Palm Springs. This food better be freaking delicious, cause ya me estoy arrepintiendo. I'm starting to have second thoughts about coming over here. And wow, if you guys take a trip to Palm Springs, just know that it's really far from LA. Well, at least it felt far, and it was kind of weird because there wasn't even traffic on my way over here, but that's just how the road feels when you're trying to get to somewhere quick, right? But I decided to make the best out of this trip, and I pulled over to the side, which is something that I never do. I never pull over to the side, but today the view just looked so amazing that I had to pull over to take some pictures and some video, right? The sun went down, you could see the mountain, and everything was just really nice and relaxing. So I decided to get some pictures and some video, and you guys can see we finally made it to Palm Springs, and it was pretty calm and relaxing. It was a Sunday afternoon, so it seemed like pretty much everybody who came to visit was already leaving town, right? And I was one of the crazy ones coming into town on a Sunday afternoon. And the restaurant is right here to the right hand side, right there where you guys saw, and they have some parking on the back side of the restaurant. And again, the view here looked amazing. You saw the mountainside, you saw this awesome mural right there that somebody painted. And right now I'm just gonna be walking over to the restaurant to check it out. As you guys can see right here, they do have some curbside pickup, and right here it says Trio Restaurant, and there actually was a lot of people here today, which is a good thing, right? That tells you that the restaurant is good. And the inside of the restaurant looked really nice, but unfortunately they were asking for a vaccine card, even though they're not in the LA County, but whatever. So we sat outside today, and I was a little worried, but I said whatever, right? I got the sangria, and I said, you know what, this thing looks good. I drove really far, and I'm gonna be here for a while, right? It was like 5 o'clock, and I'm gonna be here till nighttime, so I'll get some alcohol, something to chillax, something to relax right now while I'm outside. Thankfully, it wasn't too cold today, or else that would have sucked. And of course, I did get some sangria, so I'm feeling a little fancy right now. Pinky up, pinky up.
Okay, so
Tasting the fine things in life. I wanted to order a little appetizer, so I got something called the Coachella Valley Dates. I have no idea what I ordered. Honestly, the server recommended this to me, so I said, I'm feeling adventurous. Let's try something new, right? That's what the channel's about. It's about eating and trying new food. So I got it, you know, and it was pretty interesting. So this is like a plum, and it's sweet. And having the baking wrapped around it gives it a very unique flavor. So like, it's salty, but it's more sweet at the same time. And the sour cream is like the finishing touch for this appetizer. So would I order this again? I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it, but it is pretty cool to try out if you've never tried it out before. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I wasn't a big fan of it. Like at first, the first one tasted good, but then after that, I don't know, I didn't really like it that much. And that's just because I'm not a big fan of plums. So of course this is a big plum and I just don't really like it that much, but I did eat what was on the inside because it was good. And of course I ate the bacon around it because that's what I like, right? But the Valley Dates, they were okay if you're a fan of plums. At first, I was a little worried that I was going to be sitting outside in the patio area, but then after a while, it was not that bad. It had some things to cover you from the shade, it had some lighting, so it wasn't too bad. It was kind of relaxing in a way. And here goes the seared center cut pork chop that I told you guys I was going to be ordering before I came. And this plate just looks so good, you guys. So to get started, they gave me some mashed potatoes and some vegetables on the side, and of course the pork chop, right? Which is the reason why I came over here. That was the thing I was eyeing before getting here. And on top of the pork chop, this thing actually had something sweet on it. So every time you would eat the pork chop, you got some of that delicious sweet flavor. So it was really interesting. I had never tried pork chop like this, but I liked it. Time for the moment of truth. We're gonna see if these pork chops were worth the drive all the way over here from LA, which is crazy. I don't know how I come up with these adventures sometimes, but the baby back ribs were really good, and now let's see these pork chops. I had a very juicy and unique natural flavor. I like it. My date tonight got the baby back ribs, and these things were so good. I really enjoyed them. I should have ordered this plate instead of the pork chops because I like the baby back ribs a lot more, right? So if you come get the baby back ribs, one of the things I liked was the barbecue on top of the ribs tasted so good. The barbecue had a very unique flavor, but my favorite thing was how juicy and tender the ribs were. We're trying out the baby back ribs. Honestly, that plate looks better than the pork chops that I ordered, but they're really good, really soft, really tender. And one thing I want to show you guys is how easily it was to remove the meat from the bone. That's how you know the baby back ribs were nice and soft, right? So that's one of my favorite things about that plate. And then for dessert, I also decided to get the brownie, but I added some ice cream on it, right? Because I didn't want it to be like so dry. I wanted something cold, something to juice it up a little bit, something to spice it up. So I did order the brownie with the ice cream, and the brownie was very good. I love the way the brownie tasted. Originally, I thought it was gonna be kind of dry, but thankfully it wasn't, right? So I didn't even need to order the ice cream, but the ice cream was a great finishing touch, and this is how I would recommend that you order it. And an interesting fact about this restaurant that I didn't know before coming was that it's actually the highest rated restaurant in Palm Springs, and it's won a bunch of awards. A bunch of media has come to cover it, so I thought that was pretty cool. You know, the way I originally found out about this restaurant was on Yelp. I found it on Yelp, and I thought it would be pretty cool to come check it out. But when I got here, I saw all these awards, and I was like, wow, it's so cool that I came to the best restaurant in Palm Springs. It made the drive worth it, right? And of course, the food was very good. I enjoyed everything. Valley Dates, the pork chops, the baby back ribs. So I can see why it has a ton of awards and a bunch of recommendations. And I did want to show you guys the inside of the restaurant before I left. I really wanted to eat inside, but unfortunately they didn't let me because I forgot my vaccine card. And one thing I want to point out is that the orange in this restaurant really stands out. I really like it. Normally orange isn't like a popular color, but for this restaurant it just goes good. Here goes my bill. I'm gonna be paying it and leaving because it's time to go home. But before leaving, I did stop by the store next door, which was a gallery, right? I saw a lot of people going there, so I got kind of curious and I was like, let me go see what they sell because I see a lot of people going over there before they come here, right? So basically it was an art gallery. A painter paints and they have his art on display, and of course if you want to buy it you can, and they sell a bunch of other merchandise. In case you're interested, make sure to stop by if you come check out the restaurant. On Yelp, Trio has 4 stars with 3,280 reviews, and I think that the ratings are pretty spot on, which is why I'm going to be giving this place a 5 out of 5. I enjoyed everything that I ate today. The drinks were good, the food was good, the dessert was delicious, everything was really good. So that was one of the good things. It would have been a shame to have came from all the way from LA to Palm Springs and the food sucking, right? But thankfully everything was on point and everything was very good. I was a little skeptical about sitting on the outside area because I thought they were gonna ignore us, but thankfully the service was really spot on. The server kept checking up on me, which was something that I loved. I enjoyed driving all the way over here to Palm Springs. It was a crazy adventure that I wasn't really expecting to go on. Like, I just kind of woke up and I was like, well, let's go to Palm Springs. You know, it sounds like something fun to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this journey. I do hope to come back here again in the future to check out more spots and to see what else there is to do in Palm Springs. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor and hit that delicious like button down below. And if you want to keep going on some awesome adventures with me, make sure to subscribe. I post 2 new videos every single week showing you guys what I'm up to. This was Delafox Checks, and I approve of Trio.